And it is used in service meshes because what Linkerd had done smartly is they use a proxy server, an HTTP proxy server, and they make you make requests like that, HTTP service 1. And service 1 is not a machine, it's not a DNS, it doesn't exist. But they ingest that because you're going to send it to the proxy. The proxy looked at this, and based on that, it makes another request to another service, right? So this doesn't make sense if you request it like that, because service 1 doesn't exist in the outside world. But the proxy changes the content, and look at that, finds the service discovery, and then makes the request. And we're going to show some of that stuff coming up. All right, guys, so I have a Visual Studio Code here. I'm going to write my own node application that will act as a proxy. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open a new folder. I already created a folder called HTTP proxy. I'm going to use that. It's a blank, right? So I'm going to use an index.js folder here, so you guys see here. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to const app equal require express. I'm going to use express because it's easier. Okay. And what I want to do is instead of just literally listen to slash. Okay. And if someone makes a request response to that, here's what I want to do. I want to console.log request, just log it. Let's see what's going on here, okay? And then I don't want to send anything back yet. Well, just send received, something like that, anything, right? And then app.listen, I'm gonna listen on port 8080, and then say console.log proxy is listening on 8080. It can be any port you want, but I just chose the 8080 because it's famous. Okay, and I'm gonna add a breakpoint here, and I'm gonna listen to this thing. Obviously, now if I go to Chrome and I do localhost 8080, I'm gonna get a request. Obviously, I'm gonna look at the request. There are some headers. There's a host who made that request and all that stuff, right? And then look at that. We're gonna send that back to the results. Okay. All right. It's boring stuff. Hussein, we've seen this before. What are you showing us? What are you trying to do here? This is boring. Okay, let's make it less boring. How about that, guys? So what I want to do here is actually go to my Wi-Fi connection here, and then open network preferences, and then go to the Wi-Fi. I don't think I'm going to lose any connection here. I might actually, but I'm recorded offline, so I'm good. Go to advanced, and then go to proxies, and then I want to add a web proxy. And then this proxy is 127.0.0.0, which is localhost, and the port is 80.80.80. Okay? Let's see what will happen, guys. Let's see what will happen. Now I'm not gonna even visit this thing. I'm gonna visit example.com. It's an HTTP. Like that. Anything that is not HTTPS will go to me because that's the proxy I'm using. Okay? And then guess what? If I go to host and it's example.com, that's the actual host that we received. Okay? So it's interesting. What happened if I do HTTP baloney? Guess what? That thing doesn't exist. There's no baloney service. There's no baloney host. There's nothing. Maybe the baloney.com there exists, but look at that. I get the request. I get baloney. That's amazing, isn't it? Right? And I'm gonna give back the results. That's neat. How about that, guys? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to do an HTML file called service a.html. I'm going to create another file. Let's use HTML5. And let's go to h1. This is service A. Okay. And I'm going to do another one, service b.html. Okay. And I'm going to do boop. This is how Linkerd works in under the hood, guys. It can deliver different it can deliver you to different services based on on really the proxying, okay? This could be a query to the database, this could be anything, but here's what I want to do. If someone visits service A, I want to go to and fetch service A, okay? But here's how we do it. We're gonna do .send file, and using just basic Node.js stuff, I am going to serve back the file that is called, I don't know what's the file called, but it's called .host. So whatever the host is, serve it as an HTML file. So if someone visits service A, I'm gonna get served service A, right? If someone service B, this is gonna go, right? So let's try this. So if I do that now, go back, service A, enter, and then do that. This will be service A.html. The file is there, so it's gonna serve it, and we're gonna give back service A, right? So if I do service B, I get service B. If I do baloney, then I'm gonna get an error because there is nothing called baloney, right? So it is really cool, right? Baloney.html. Okay, now I'm gonna create baloney.html, and I say, okay, baloney stuff. Okay, and now if I do that, did I spell it right? I don't think I spelled it right. This is 1L, this is 2L. So let's do this, and then whoop, refresh. Do we get baloney? We did get baloney, right? So this is the idea of a proxy. A proxy takes the request before it sends it to the destination. So what an actual proxy does is actually establishes a connection between the server, does stuff, and then gives you back the result. But we can do anything with a proxy like what we are doing here, okay? We're going to any site. We can build our own cool app like that, okay? And the service mesh does is uses that power to take the host and act like, okay, you want to visit service A, right? So I'm going to query the service discovery, find the IP address, and direct my traffic to that service essentially, and get back the results, and then do that all cool stuff. It also, Linkerd upgrades the connection to HTTPS and terminate TLS, does all that stuff, right? So this is not a service mesh video, but essentially just using that power. Look at that. We can do so much, right? Obviously, I don't have internet anymore now, okay? But if I go to anything that is secure, it should work, essentially. Okay, if something not secure goes through my proxy, right? So let me disable my proxy before I forget.